Howard Schultz was born in 1953 into a poor family in Brooklyn, New York. His father, Fred Schultz, worked as a truck driver delivering and picking up cloth diapers. The family lived in a housing project for the poor, where life was tough and dreams rarely came true. Howard often remembered how cold their apartment was during winter, how his mother tried to keep them warm by boiling water on the stove, and how his father came home every evening exhausted, angry, and defeated by life. One of the most traumatic memories was when Howard was just 7 years old. His father slipped on ice at work and broke his leg. The company he worked for didn't provide medical insurance or paid leave. Overnight, the family lost its only income. Looking back, Howard said, "That image of my father, helpless on the couch with a cast on his leg and no job, never left my mind. I promised myself, I will never let my life be like this. I will create something better." From a young age, he showed resilience. He sold newspapers, worked at cafes, and played football, earning a scholarship to attend Northern Michigan University. After graduating, he found a job at Xerox, where he learned professional sales techniques. Later, he joined Hammerplast, a company selling kitchen equipment and coffee machines. One day in 1981, Howard noticed that a small coffee bean store in Seattle named Starbucks was buying an unusually large number of coffee machines. Curious, he flew to Seattle to see what this company was about. Back then, Starbucks was not a cafe. It sold only roasted coffee beans and equipment. However, when he walked into their store, he felt something magical about the aroma, the culture of coffee, and the knowledge the owners had. He immediately wanted to be part of it. After a year of persuasion, Starbucks hired him as director of marketing. In 1983, Howard traveled to Italy. Walking the streets of Milan, he saw hundreds of espresso bars, full of people talking, laughing, connecting over coffee. It wasn't just a drink, it was part of their daily life, their culture. He thought, this is what America is missing. Coffee shops that create a sense of community, a third place between home and work. Excited, he returned to Seattle and pitched the idea to Starbucks owners. But they rejected it. They didn't want to become a cafe chain. They wanted to remain a bean and equipment store. Howard faced a tough choice: give up or follow his vision. He chose to take the risk. He left Starbucks, borrowed money, invested all his savings, and in 1985 opened his own Italian-style cafe called Il Giornale. The cafe became an instant success. People loved the idea of drinking espresso while talking to friends, reading newspapers, or taking a break from work. In 1987, Starbucks owners decided to sell their company. Howard saw his chance. He gathered investors and bought Starbucks for $3.8 million. Combining Starbucks premium beans with his cafe concept, he began creating what we now know as Starbucks. But success wasn't instant. Many criticized him for overpaying for a small coffee company. During expansion, Starbucks faced difficulties with maintaining quality, supply chains, and staff training. Some stores failed. Competition grew. Yet Howard never gave up. He believed in creating a company built on values. He provided medical insurance to all employees, including part-timers. This decision came from his childhood trauma of seeing his father injured with no help. He called Starbucks employees partners, making them feel part of the company's mission. In 2008, Starbucks faced its biggest crisis. Rapid overexpansion led to declining sales and profits. Shareholders were angry, stores were closing, and competitors were taking market share. Howard, who had stepped down as CEO, returned to save the company. His first move shocked many. He closed over 7,100 Starbucks stores for an entire day to retrain baristas on how to brew the perfect espresso. He improved supply chains, redesigned stores, and refocused on Starbucks' core, premium coffee, and customer connection. These decisions turned Starbucks around. Today, Starbucks has over 30,000 stores in 83 countries. Howard Schultz is worth over $4 billion. But he says money was never his goal. In his words, "Success is empty if you arrive at the finish line alone. The best thing we can do in life is not to make money, but to make a difference." Howard Schultz proved that a boy from a poor family in Brooklyn, who watched his father suffer without hope, could build an empire that employs hundreds of thousands worldwide. His life teaches us that true success comes from resilience, vision, and caring for others. Even now, when asked about his journey, he simply says, "Dream big dreams. But never forget where you came from. That will always keep you grounded and human.